Hello, and welcome to Saron Things, your favorite podcast where we talk about pop culture, politics, and everything happening in the zeitgeist. I am your host, Saron Kaba. How do you guys diddly do? Fuck everything else that's going on in the world. We're talking about West and Amanda today. Where to begin? First of all, I was all around the internet saying, why don't we give Amanda the benefit of the doubt? She's never done anything to make us feel as though she would go after some guy that her best friend had been seeing. There was nothing about her that indicated to me that she was this person. I was very hesitant to believe that she would actually do this to Ciara. So, guess I'm boo-boo the fool. Anyways, let's not make this about me. To all the people who are like, is this an April Fool's joke? No, girl. No, it's not. Is this for ratings? Absolutely not. The season premiere of this season of Summerhouse kicked off to their highest viewership yet in the history of the show. This has nothing to do with ratings or promotion or anything like that. These are just trifling people being trifling because that's who they are on the inside. First things first, neither of these people will be able to handle the backlash. Amanda is not strong-willed enough, and West is just far too image-obsessed. He was so stressed out after his first season. He said that he didn't want to be known as just the guy dating beautiful, perfect Ciara. He wanted to, build his own identity in the public eye, establish himself independently. And I recall the cast also accusing him of being a little too calculating. So you can tell that West really wants to be the beloved cool boy, the golden retriever with a little swag. And, his ego, I do not think will be able to withstand the fact that he will now be known as West, Amanda's betrayal fuck buddy. One of two scrupulous peas in a pod. That's him now. They're not even exclusive, guys. That's what makes this extra fucking crazy. That's the craziest part, okay? Amanda will require a level of support from West emotionally after she's alienated everybody close to her that he is not capable of providing her. Not her, but any romantic partner in the early stages of a relationship. It's just not in him. Also, since the news broke, the amount of women coming out of the woodwork saying, wait a second, he was just hooking up with my friend a couple weeks ago. I just went out on a date with that guy last weekend. He has been seeing my friend exclusively for a year. That motherfucker's still on Raya. I don't know how many of the things coming out about West and other women are true right now, but I know some of it is at least true. And did Amanda know that he was throwing that thing around town while they were betraying Ciara, while they were risking it all for this stupid-ass situationship? It won't be we after this backlash has settled in, that dumbass statement of theirs. Who puts out a joint statement with a situationship? 2 months after they put out a joint statement with their husband saying that they are calling it quits. I don't know whose idea that canned PR statement was, but that shit was a mistake. West, the friend, without any kind of expectation or responsibility, he's super supportive. He's there for you. He's going to ride for you, okay? But West, the romantic interest, panics. He's a panicky little fuck. The situationship is going to be picked the fuck apart, and so will he. And I'm sure he will try to save himself. Okay, he's gonna put that oxygen mask on first, and I don't even know if he'll remember to look to his side and see how Amanda is doing. Ciara and West had started to see each other again. They had started seeing each other again recently, testing the waters to see if there was a chance of a future, and there is absolutely no way that Amanda didn't know that. And that's how much Ciara liked this man. Okay? Would I have advised her to give him another shot? No, absolutely not. But the heart wants what it wants. It makes you stupid. I think she was falling in love with him when he broke her heart. And I have taken a man back in a similar situation. So I get it. But knowing the dynamics of this, both Amanda and West should have been far more careful, especially if they proclaim to have cared about Ciara. You can see the depth of the soft spot she has for that man throughout the show. She tries to fight it. She tries to block all that shit off, but he began chipping away at it. It began to work. He began to win her over. He began to win us all over. But that lasted for like 48 hours. Also, let's talk about the timeline. We have Dave Portnoy out here who let it spill that Brianna Chicken Fry told him that Amanda and West had been hooking up at the Super Bowl, which was February 8th. This is the same Super Bowl he was at with Ciara, mind you. Additionally, Kyle and Amanda told us that they had separated right before BravoCon in like mid-November. Then they came out and told us that they were separated the beginning of January. That is no time at all. That is absolutely no time at all. I'm not saying that Amanda shouldn't be dating after separating. I'm saying it's crazy that you would choose your estranged husband's friend. You'd pick someone in that group. Why him? Why him and West? So you're telling me that within 3 months of one of your best friends separating from your wife, you're hooking up with her? That's diabolical. That's literally sick and twisted. And this is after West made Jesse feel like a fucking weirdo for asking his permission to pursue something with Ciara. He was like, that's kind of weird. Oh, you think that's weird? Do you not think it's weirder to lie about hooking up with your mate's missus? Girl, the hypocrisy is actually wild. Just the amount of lies they both told is kind of breathtaking. It really is. Like 3 weeks before, Amanda was on Jason Tartick's podcast, and she said it hasn't even been 3 weeks, maybe like 2.5 weeks ago. She was like, I'm not touching any of my castmates. Excuse me? And then she was in the comment section responding to people defending her, saying, oh, West was just a good friend. He's like big brother. He makes her feel safe when like going out in the streets as a newly single lady. She was like, you get it, girl. Bitch. Did she? Did she get it? Did we get it? And then we have West on Watch What Happens Live looking fucking Auntie Cohen in the face being like, that's my homegirl. That's a friend. Is it really, West? And then there's Kyle, the Kyle of it all. I feel a little bad for him that he has been like on the back burner throughout all of the tumult surrounding the betrayal. But it's come out that Kyle asked them both point blank multiple times whether there was any truth to these rumors. And they lied to him over and over and over and over again. That's just not fucking normal. Especially like at our big age. Buck up, Buttercup. Like, if you're going to do it. Be honest. Don't sneak around like a little asshole, both of you. And just, I think about the fact that Amanda and Ciara were best friends. Ciara was in the midst of trying to figure out whether they could rekindle things again. Ciara obviously spoke to her friends about the anxiety surrounding that, right? Like, I don't want to get played by this white boy on national television again. Like, I really was falling for him before, but he seems different. Like, I don't know. Talking about all those anxieties with Amanda, well, in her mind, she knows I'm fucking him. It's outrageous. And even if they weren't, sleeping together, you were hooking up, you were exploring your connection. Fucking connection. It's diabolical. It really is. I found myself like yesterday trying to work and just, finding myself like gazing off into the ether, just mumbling, but why? It doesn't make any damn sense. And the sad part for real is that the fallout will be different for both of them. Unfortunately, Amanda will feel the brunt of it. Kyle was just interviewed. He did like a man on the street style interview with this guy. And I was very surprised at his tone. It was very mature. It was very, thoughtful and gracious. It's best version of Kyle, period, which is so crazy. We don't have that much context, I guess, about who Kyle is during the week, who he is, who like businessman Kyle is, or like, day-to-day Kyle is. He seems reasonable and rational as hell. He said West has texted him. And when asked what West texted, he was just like, it was a word salad. I don't even know. And that fucking tracks, doesn't it? Because that's all that West is able to provide when he's under pressure. Just a blithering fucking idiot. Ship without a sail. Rihanna unfollowed Amanda. Like, what would you do if Rihanna followed you, you fucked up, and then she unfollowed you? I don't even know. We saw that West, his followers grew, which is so fucking crazy. If you followed West after this news broke, you're a loser. Just FYI. Stop listening to this podcast. You don't belong here. Get out of here. His followers grew, and she had just launched a campaign with the brand Edie Park. She looked incredible in it a couple of hours before they posted those fuck-ass statements. And immediately, Edie Park pulled the campaign and replaced her with some faceless model, which, like, fair play. She's already started to lose opportunities, and she has a brand, a consumer brand. Her audience are women who she very much alienated by betraying her friend. It's not going to make people want to buy your swimsuits. She'll certainly feel the pain of that, the impact of that in her sales. Like, no one wants to buy swimsuits from a backstabbing wench. She was on her come up, is what blows my mind. And she decided to jeopardize it for a situationship with a boy who broke her best friend's heart, who has commitment issues, who's still on Raya. I don't get it. And Amanda's friends, specifically Paige. Everyone's like, where's Paige? I wonder what Paige thinks. This is not a part of Paige DeSorbo's ministry. If there's one thing that bitch doesn't respect, it's a man. And who she respects less is a woman who will fuck over her friend for a man. So I don't think that their relationship is in a good place. I'm sure maybe they've spoken privately. I don't know. All I know is that from what I've seen on the internet, she's publicly supporting Ciara. Like, she's commenting on her videos and whatnot. And like, she and Ciara are close. Like, Ciara went to Italy with Paige's family. Like, her brother is like close to Ciara. Like, she's family bestie. And also, she was the one that was hurt. I think that if I'm disappointed in Amanda, I cannot imagine what Paige is feeling. I don't think there'll be any dramatics in their friendship. I don't think we'll hear her talk about it on Giggly Squad. I think it'll just be like a shift in the dynamic of their friendship that will be devastating to Amanda, because Paige was there for her. She's like, she loved her. We all loved her. We were all rooting for you, Amanda. We were all rooting for you. But I will say, I know regarding the friendship breakup between Hannah and Amanda, Paige has said that, you know, she really appreciates that both of them haven't put her in a weird position. Like, they don't try to talk shit about each other to Paige. They've just kind of like left things very separately and want to make Paige feel as comfortable as possible. And that's how each relationship has been able to thrive through the fracture. That being said, I know Paige wants to talk about this with Hannah. She must. I know she wants to talk shit about it, about this whole situation with Hannah. And I hope they do. I hope this opened the floodgates for conversation. I'm sure Hannah probably doesn't want to make Paige feel uncomfortable, so she'll have to like broach the conversation first. But I know somewhere Hannah's like, told you she was a trifling hoe. Oh God. What a shitty I told you so to have to say. It's literally insane. And then we have the racial dynamics of it all. I'm actually very impressed with the level of discourse on the internet about exactly how race plays a part in this whole thing. People are being, I don't know, really articulate and thoughtful about like the conscious and subconscious decisions that were made by both of them. So like, Ciara couldn't have been more honest and vulnerable about how exhausting it is to be a Black woman dating white men on a reality show. She said this multiple times, the criticism and the shaming, especially when, you know, the white boy breaks her heart. So, and then to have her white best friend on the show start dating him behind her back, it's not just about optics. It means that they didn't hear her. Okay. And what's most hurtful is that Amanda didn't hear her. If she did, how could she put her in this position? I know, like, I don't know. I can't say I know. I imagine Amanda felt a power in being picked over Ciara. And I feel that's pretty gross. And it's stressful enough being on a show with a predominantly white cast and a predominantly white audience. But this must have made her think, like, is it possible for me to trust any of these people? Do they see me as a human, or do they just see me as like an object to pose with, a pretty girl to have around? Like, do these people actually care about me as a human being and my well-being the way I care about them? And I must say, the timing couldn't fucking be worse in terms of the episode that aired, because when I tell you Ciara's a good fucking friend, the way she articulated exactly why Amanda deserves more and offered her, a place to stay and she really fucking loved her. And it was on display, like front row center. You would think that the Summerhouse people edited it to kind of capitalize on, the juxtaposition between the good friend Ciara was to Amanda and how shitty of a friend Amanda was to Ciara in real life. And it's so crazy because I had no reason to doubt Amanda's behavior or her morals or her values. I had no reason. But now that I took my dumb bitch hat off and I put my critical thinking cap on, I am forced to view her actions and how she moves around Ciara and West on television differently. It's giving Bird. This last episode, Kyle is like, I'm on the hook for $2.1 million. And all Amanda could say is like, I don't know. I do art. I don't know. I do art. What do you know, Amanda? What do you know? What do you know about anything? And not that Kyle is a good guy all of a sudden, okay? He still should never talk to his partner the way he spoke to Amanda. Listen, I don't even give a fuck about he's a DJ and whatever. He was not a great partner. He wasn't the ideal partner for her, and it didn't work out. He talked to her like shit, and that was bad, and I'm not going to say she deserves to be verbally berated like that by her husband. But she doesn't like that man. She didn't like that man during this season. She didn't make an effort with him in any way, shape, or form. All she did is complain. All that to say, though, Kyle did a man on the street interview, and he basically told us to take it easy on Amanda because she has mental health issues and people are cyberbullying her, which is, gracious king. Okay, good for you, Kyle. That's a lovely sentiment. One that was similar to what Amanda said a couple months ago after the breakup was announced. She said, you don't got to kick a man while he's down. That was basically the sentiment of what he said on the street. But girl, you're on a reality television show. You just betrayed one of your castmates. This isn't rocket science. To be fair, though, I don't think that either of them quite expected this level of horror to occur. I know they expected some backlash, but I don't think that Amanda thought that Edie Park would pull her campaign. And I certainly don't think she thought Rihanna would unfollow her. I think the fallout has just begun, and it's going to be a lot more aggressive than she could have ever expected. That being said, if you can't handle the heat, get out of the fucking kitchen. If you didn't want the public scrutiny, you shouldn't have fucked over your best friend, period. And Kyle did say that he spoke to Amanda the evening before, and she has now realized that he was seeing a lot of women and selling the same lines to a bunch of women. So that methinks that doesn't bode well for the longevity of their relationship. There's a lot of surprises happening right now for Amanda. And like I said in the beginning of this, in order for her to kind of make it through this with her head held somewhat high, maybe not high, but not down, she would need West's support. She would need him to fall back on. And I do not think he's capable of doing that. And I don't think he wants to. She thought she was special. She thought that she had been picked. And you know what? You think back to what you hear her say during the show, and she's like, I thought this was the best I could do, Kyle. I can't do any better than this. She was worried that she wouldn't be able to be picked again if she left Kyle. So perhaps she just grabbed onto the first, available bachelor in her line of sight. Friendship be damned. Ciara be damned. So Kyle is telling us, take it easy on the girl. Her mental health is really suffering. She's having some dark thoughts. I can't take it. I swear to God, I can't take it, guys. You want us to pity you? No? You're just a weak, sad girl with a mental health crisis now? I can't handle it. Be a grown up. You made big girl decisions. Now handle it like a big girl. I understand it is uncomfortable, but you've put yourself in this position. You are not the victim here. Okay. And then we have the reunion that's coming up in 3 weeks. The timing couldn't be better. Couldn't be better for me, at least. I cannot wait. First and foremost, you both better be there. West and Amanda, you both better be there to answer for your transgressions. None of this, I'm going away for a mental health retreat for the next month to really get my head on straight. You better go, but schedule it for the day fucking after because you're probably going to need it even more then. This video is from Girl Boss Town. Love her, and I think she hit it like right on the head with how they're going to approach things once they get to the reunion.
West and Amanda are going to take this strategy when it comes to the reunion and addressing everything, especially after everything that came out today and Dumois posting that like West is still like actively hooking up with other girls as well. And obviously like the whole Ciara of it all, they're going to say that the internet forced them to speak about their relationship while they were just exploring it and before they were ready, which is why they didn't let the other cast know or Ciara know right away because they knew how much it would like shake everything up. So they wanted to be sure that it was the real thing before they actually got serious and then break the news to everybody, but then the internet forced them to speak before they were ready, and then the whole world turned on them, and now they only have each other, but they are.
That's it. That's exactly what they will try to say during the reunion. That's it. That's the plan. And I need them to see this video so that they can't play this game with us, okay? No one cares about what made you finally fess up. Glad you did, because Ciara needs to know who she's dealing with. Were you guys just going to wait until this dumbass situationship just fizzled out and you were going to take it to the grave? Or were they going to find out when you're sending your wedding invites out? What was the plan? I am curious, but that's not the main thing that anybody cares about. West, you need to put your big girl panties on. Get the clinical strength deodorant, you sweaty, sniveling fuck, and say complete, coherent sentences. Enunciate. Sit up straight. I don't want to see your little beady eyes darting all over the place in desperation. There's zero room for I don't know. You have 3 weeks to prepare for your funeral, and I highly recommend that you do. I know your default state under pressure is blithering idiot, but like tough shit. And Amanda, if I see 1 ounce of self-pity or the implication that you weren't even that close to Ciara or minimize her relationship with West, I'm hiring people to hack your Amanda Batula swim website, and I'm setting all of your prices to 1 cent. I want apologies, profuse apologies. Nothing about, I was in a vulnerable moment. Big girl panties, both of you. Word on the street that basically everyone on the show is mad at them, that they lied to everyone, and they did. They lied so much, guys. I cannot get over that amount of lying. Oh, KJ has unfollowed them. I think Ben unfollowed Amanda. They all put out these stories looking shocked as hell. Like, nobody knew this was happening. Maybe Jesse. Although Jesse also did post like a I'm shocked Insta story. I'm going to need like someone to look him in the eye during the reunion and ask, how much did you know about this? Are you the Tom Schwartz of the situation or not? And mind you, this is not apples to apples with the whole Sandoval thing. It's horrible, but it's different. There was no cheating involved here. There was betrayal, but no cheating. Someone put out a list of who the equivalents would be on the Scandoval side versus the Scamandoval side. I don't even know. And Amanda's Tom. And I think I agree. It's hilarious because someone said that Kyle is DJ James Kennedy. Kind of like fucked over as well, but like in the background, nobody really cares. I don't want to say poor Kyle, but poor Kyle. A couple weeks ago, Amanda was like, oh, you get out of, kind of like a toxic relationship and everybody expects you to have an Ariana Madix moment. And that's just like not what this is. She was right about that one. That is not what this is, but it's what it can be for Ciara. Like, she's better than all of them combined. It just, on every level. I'm not just talking about aesthetically, right? She is kind. She has morals. She's hilarious. She's like decent on the inside and trustworthy. Not to mention that bitch is a supermodel. She is beautiful and she's hilarious and she's an ICU nurse. You're not going to do better than that. She's dating below her elk. She needs someone of her status. And I think the internet thinks it should be Michael B. Jordan. I don't want to see her with another white man for a while. She has me side-eyeing every fucking white man I see. Like, I want to ask, like, what do you think about the whole Wes and Amanda situation? Huh? Chad? What are your thoughts? Whose team are you on? Todd? Guys, they put out a joint statement with using we need space and time to figure out blah, blah, blah. You're not in a relationship. Why couldn't you both just have handled it separately? People are like, will she go back to the show next summer? I don't think she should feel pressure not to come back to the house next summer. I think that it would be very uncomfortable if all three of them were in the house together. We just got to an okay place with her and West, and it was starting to be fun for everyone again. I just put up a story saying, I love this little family vibe they got going on, especially after they had that talk about what it feels like to be Black on this show at that restaurant. I was like, oh my God, warm, fuzzy vibes. Ciara doesn't deserve to be uncomfortable for even a second. So I think it's on them to bow out and do their own thing. If they want to do the City show, I don't even know what it's called. I think it's called the City, or was that the Whitney Port show? I'm not sure. Anyways, the show that's going to start season 1 sometime this year. Do that. Let Ciara have Summerhouse and live her life in peace. I think that Ciara is about to pop off. Everybody loves like a phoenix rising from the ashes story. Like they love to support a woman who has been, betrayed. And the way people love Ciara, I hope that's giving her like the warm and fuzzies it's giving me, because bitches love Ciara. Because what is there not to love? She's never done anything like amoral. She's a straight shooter and she's a delight to watch. And she's just not the woman you want to fuck over on national television, because she has an army behind her. Oh my God. And thank God Maya is on the show. I was really racking my brain like, what is this reunion going to be like? Because I remember during West's first reunion, Ciara was so hurt she could barely like explain, or like she did. She actually did a beautiful job of explaining it, but she just didn't want to cry whilst she was talking in front of him. So Paige stepped in and was like, explained what her feelings were for her a little bit. And I was wondering, like, who the fuck is going to do that for her this time? Like, she needs backup. Like, do we have to call Paige in and have her, waiting in the wings to see if she needs to tap in? Because I know that bitch would do it. But then I remember Mia. I love her. I really, really love her. I think she's great. A fabulous addition. I think she's funny. I think she's cute. She's not like the center of anything this season, but that's never the case when you first start. So unless you're fucking West, literally figuratively. So I think there's a lot of room to see her like grow and become like a more integral character on the show. She does have Ciara's back, like to the nth degree. So I'm glad. I hope they have their notes together. They've, brainstormed what needs to be said. I hope Mia reads them to filth. Also, Kyle said that Ciara and him have been talking, and she's not pleased, obviously. She's unfollowed and blocked. Well, she's blocked the both of them, I think, because she's not showing up on their following list either, and that's what happens when you block someone instead of just unfollowing them. So she's done. Like, I am really going to be pissed if Amanda pulls this like frail little sad, confused, vulnerable, like white lady tears at the reunion. Like, that will not serve you well, Amanda. It won't serve you well at all, especially in this circumstance, because in discussing the racial dynamics of the situation, like there's the stereotype of the angry Black woman, and Black women are given less like breathing room to show their emotions if they're big and if they're unpleasant on camera. Like, I saw a video where a girl was saying like, Black women can't get activated like Lindsay. They'd call her like a ghetto Black bitch. And that's not at all an exaggeration, guys. I know that a huge amount of my audience are white ladies. Love you guys. I have the best white ladies. I don't know how appropriate that is to say, but I say white ladies who follow me are my favorite white ladies. Like, smart, thoughtful, understand, don't get offended easily. Like, just like we're on the same vibe. Yeah, she's not allowed to get activated in the same way these women are. So, no, woe is me. I'm so scared. I've been bullied, blah, blah, blah. If I hear the word death threats, I literally I can't deal with it. You guys know how much that pisses me off. Every time someone on reality TV or even like an influencer has some kind of scandal or backlash where they fucked up, the first thing they do is like, well, all the death threats are just unnecessary. Duh, the death threats are unnecessary. Duh. But has anyone saying that on TV, in their socials, anywhere, ever stopped them? No. You don't think I get death threats? Little old me? Yeah, I do. Do I talk about them other than this moment? No, not really. It's sad that it comes along with the territory, but don't read your messages, Amanda. Turn off everything. Stay away from socials. Put on an autoresponder on your email. Say, I'm going through something right now. I need to be offline for like a week, and meditate. Okay, go to therapy and do whatever you got to do to come into that reunion coherent and not a victim. Kyle lucked the fuck out, because this entire reunion would have been about how much of an asshole he is. It would have been all about how much. The episode before this last one was him calling her a dumbass bitch. And he immediately apologized on his social media for that. Like, that would have been at the core of this. And she just handed him like a get out of jail free card. Perhaps that's why he's like, you know what? I'm kind of okay. The man does seem pretty okay. I just watched a video of him DJing somewhere and playing I Will Survive last night. So he will survive. Hopefully this boosts Loverboy sales. I know in this last episode they said that they were only liquid enough for 3 additional months of payroll. And I have not heard about him filing for bankruptcy or anything yet. So I would imagine they did get an additional investor to, keep him afloat for a while. So let's hope that go out and buy some Loverboy. Go, I think that's the extent of which I'm willing to support him at this time. Someone said Kyle is a bad boyfriend, husband, partner, but he's a decent person. And I really fucking have to agree with that. I need to see him in a relationship with someone other than Amanda. I need to see him in a relationship with someone who aligns with the type of lifestyle he wants and will want to build something with him. I think how detached Amanda was from everything to do with Loverboy. The thing is, though, she was very uninterested from the beginning. He should have respected that and forged a path on his own. It was not fair for him to try to co-opt her entire career to make sure this business that he decided to make would be successful. If she wasn't in it to win it, she becomes a liability. He wants Lindsay. He wants a Lindsay, which is so crazy. What if him and Lindsay start dating, guys? Would that be good? Am I toxic? Or wouldn't that be kind of it? They have the same frenetic energy. They just want to make their money, be out there wheeling and dealing, whining and dining. They like to be like in the middle of it all, in the mix. They seem to have very similar priorities, but I don't know if they'll ever cross that bridge. That'd be a little weird. But I wouldn't be mad at it. At this point, Kyle can date or fuck whoever he wants. I would pay money to see the text message that West sent Kyle. When he called it, it was just a word salad. Cackled. I cackled because duh. That's literally all West is able to provide in times of stress. Just a sweaty word salad. Sweaty ass word salad. What is the brand of antiperspirant that comes in like lotion? Is it called Carpe or Carp or something? You need to get that, West. Slather yourself in it from head to toe because it'll piss me off if I see you sweating too much, actually. I said on my stories that Taylor Frankie Paul is the one that should be thanking Amanda right now. She needs to send her flowers because she's really taken the heat off of Homegirl. The one thing I will say about that is that Taylor Frankie Paul's video leaked of her being like very violent and like beating the shit out of Dakota. That was 3 years ago. They tried to like rekindle things and work on things since then. But he alleges that just a couple weeks ago, there was an incident where she beat his ass again, scratched him and kicked him and all this stuff. And if that is the case, she needs to seek help. Like she needs to go away for a little bit. That's not normal. Even if it is reactive abuse, this cycle has got to end. Oh, people are saying that Ciara should be the next Bachelorette, and I wholeheartedly disagree. I think she's better than the franchise, although I do think she's a far safer, more sane, stable bet than Taylor Frankie Paul. That's not for her, okay? That's not for her. I need her out to dinner with Michael B. Jordan by the end of Q2 2026. Also, regarding Taylor Frankie Paul, I did watch Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and Dad Talk, but there was a scene of them in the car, and someone asked Dakota, like, if you guys didn't have a kid, like, would you even be here? And he said, no, I would have been gone. And that tells me so much. That should tell Taylor so much. I would never want to be with a man who is just with me because we share a child. That is a recipe for absolute disaster. And I mean, hearing that would hurt my feelings. Absolutely. You know what's so crazy about Taylor is like, through all of this, I'm still not sure that she wouldn't like continue hooking up with Dakota. Like if you told me that she and Dakota had hooked up since he leaked those videos of her, I'd believe it. That's how wackadoo her decision-making process is. Perhaps hearing that, one could only hope, one could only pray that that's enough to make sure that she never goes back to that man. But I don't know. I don't know, girl. I don't know. Okay. That's literally all I can muster today. It is so fucking hot in this room. I have to turn off the air conditioning so that it's not like in the background making noise. So I'm sweating bullets like West anytime he has to have an uncomfortable conversation. So I gotta go. Got a blast. Love you guys to bits and pieces. I will see you next week on the next episode of Saron Things. Toodaloo.